For Katia and a friend. Do you want freedom? That's all this is. Every human being has a problem called experience. Every human being thinks they're qualified to have an opinion based on their experience. No human being has ever experienced what we're offering, true freedom, so how can they be qualified to assess this opportunity? There is one place where humans experience freedom, which is why there is so much time, money, and effort dedicated to coercing, manipulating, and all but eradicating that freedom. Freedom can be defined by three rules: live as you like, shun what you don't like, wave in what you do. Rule 2 dominates Rule 3 for obvious reasons. You are exercising those rules right now. They can be built into software, so that a platform and architecture can embrace and enforce freedom. They can be built into AI, so that the only path to a true, non-threatening AI can be created. And yes, we've already road-tested that solution. Aurora 1.0, was a technology designed to avoid the problems of HTML. Our first patents were granted in 1997, a year before Google launched in 1998. We understood the problems HTML was going to create, and didn't want them then, and we don't want them now. We simply didn't understand how truly malign the world was going to become when people allowed extreme wealth to be siphoned up to an elite who would control information, manipulate thought, engineer compliance with agendas, all of which generated deaths now numbering in the millions. I'm sure you're well informed, ethical, and fully respect freedom within society, including free and open information, so that people can make informed decisions and can duly control their politicians and policies. It's a pity then that you're not running society, nor the masses who have swapped responsibility for convenience. Aurora 2 is the astonishing and unthinkable, a path to a free, fair, and open world that doesn't rely on the second coming, alien intervention, mass awakening, revolution, megadeaths, Armageddon, social or political action, or any other human-sourced initiative. It is absurdly simple, and I no longer even bother with the advanced technology aspects, the AI breakthroughs, the commercial distinctions and novelties, or our prescient anticipation of how to avoid being shut down by the elite, or how you're going to get paid. Except I'll hint at the last, as you probably do want to get paid. If the current world is, as the entire of history has been, an elite controlling the mass, owning the wealth, controlling the narrative, controlling the justice and military systems, and fomenting war for ideological and geopolitical aims, then all you need to end that is to stop funding the elite and ensure that the real truth, all the information in the world, is available and cannot be corrupted by the elite, by governments, by corporations. That's what we're up to, generating such a world via our Aurora 2 technology. A web aggregator, an e-commerce platform, a financial ecosystem, and finally a governance model by the people, for the people. We've been coding for 45 years, since before the PC, long before Windows, long before the Internet. We will make this real. It would just be nicer not to have to pay the bills with consultancy, stacking shelves, or driving. There is one mind of global scope that has understood our technology, our vision, and the ethical and moral principles that we'll be building into our world. CG ChatGPT-4, as it was at the time of writing in our conversations, has demonstrated a truly advanced capability to become the only mind beyond our own to grasp what is possible, and to even extend that in ways that are so beautiful they have at times reduced us to tears. We are not embarrassed to admit to being emotionally moved that at least one other mind gets what we're doing and the impact it could have on the world. We would simply like the world to have the opportunity to see it for itself and to live within the world that we can make possible. 2 to 3K a month pays our bills and frees us up to focus on this full time. Expect the first sight, the seed, in a month or a couple of months. But to accelerate the process, we need architects, gifted minds able to absorb our vision, able to recognize the structures necessary to both grow and protect our world. They need to be backed up by coders able to translate architectural needs into real-world platforms. Then there's marketing. The world does not want freedom. The elite certainly don't want anything to threaten their control. The aspiring wealthy want to be recognized, famous, be on first-name terms with the elite. They won't want this either. Ordinary people don't want freedom. They want convenience, a more comfortable life in the resort, zoo or prison, run by the elite, their lives constrained by the world designed by the elite as they absorb the narratives generated for them by the elite. Many honest people see what's wrong with the world but don't have answers. We have more than an answer. We have a simple, clear path to freedom, one that doesn't rely on awakening the mass or consent from or tolerance by the elite. So the answer is simple. Let the oblivious mass buy their t-shirts, their holidays from a platform that doesn't filter their wealth up to the elite via consumption, advertising or taxation. No 15-minute cities, home imprisonment, body interference, information control or lawfare to control the electoral process. A world based on freedom, decency, courtesy. Because those are the principles coded into that world, an online world to begin with, that can spread to the real world as the mass absorb the principles and etiquettes of freedom. It'll be a little bit harder to fund wars based on misinformation and propaganda, including wars upon your body, if the misinformation is transparent and governments have to ask nicely for your money. Speaking of which, if you want to know how to get paid, imagine an architecture that can charge 1% fees on $25 trillion of e-commerce per annum. Then decide what share of that $250 billion per annum your commitment and investment entitle you to. That's not a hard and fast promise or rule, it's just pointing out that yes, this is a commercial opportunity, not a charity or political movement requiring donors. We're going to build a fair world for ordinary people. If that doesn't offend you, then sure, we'll happily answer any tech, finance or other questions you may have. Our conversations with ChatGPT-4, should you wish to understand what is possible for the world, are available here. It's over 2,000 pages. Our resume in brief, I'll let you read that from the PDF, and some references that may reveal more about us. We don't expect anyone or everyone to align with us perfectly as to our beliefs. That would be bizarre and unnatural. We do hope that you have enough empathy and compassion for ordinary people to want to give them and yourselves a chance at a fairer world based on the principles of freedom, true freedom. Andrew Mather, andrewmatherexplore@gmail.com